October 12, 1916, 5:42 a.m., Beaumont-Hamel sector, Somme Valley. A dense fog clings to the churned, chalky ground. At the edge of the forward trench, he stands, his boots sinking into the mud, a mire so deep it has swallowed rifles whole overnight. Around him, the company is a study in quiet tension, each man waiting, breathing as one. The trench is a yawning pit, 3 meters deep, its firing steps still glistening from the previous night's drizzle. The British soldiers brace themselves for yet another assault on the German second line. Every man there understands a grim reality. The Somme offensive has already claimed more than half their battalion since July. A faint gray light begins to spread across the valley. Through the swirling mist, the stark silhouettes of shattered poplars rise like broken ribs against the skyline. Far in the distance, the German trench network remains hidden beneath camouflage netting and the lingering smoke of artillery fire, stretching for kilometers in a complex web of zigzags, traverses, and machine gun nests, strategically positioned roughly every 250 meters. He glances at his watch again. The artillery barrage should commence within the next minute. He clutches a letter in his pocket. His sister's familiar handwriting, dated just a week prior. The envelope feels soft and damp from his sweat. Beside him, Private Alden carefully fastens a photograph of his newborn daughter inside his tunic, close to his heart. These small, personal rituals ripple through the trench like a silent language, a shared understanding in the face of impending danger. At 5:46, the first British field gun roars to life, its report echoing across the desolate landscape. A second follows, and then the entire line erupts in a deafening chorus of explosions. The creeping barrage begins, advancing at a measured pace of 50 meters every 2 minutes, shells falling with calculated precision from the 18-pounders and 4 5-inch howitzers. A suffocating cloud of dust, chalk, and smoke rolls across the German front lines. The ground trembles violently, like a wounded animal struggling for breath. Instinctively, the men duck as shrapnel whistles overhead, a deadly rain of jagged metal. The trench boards shudder with each earth-shattering concussion. According to the meticulously planned operation, the infantry will advance exactly 3 minutes behind the protective curtain of the barrage, using its relentless advance as a shield. He signals to the platoon sergeant. Check bayonets. Gas helmets slung. Minimum 120 rounds of ammo. The sound of rifles being checked fills the air. Bayonets slide and lock into place with metallic, final sound. The Lewis gunners meticulously inspect their magazines. Drums loaded with 47 rounds, enough for only a short burst of sustained fire before the weapon overheats. A runner arrives, panting, his face flushed with exertion. Captain says 0 hour confirmed. Whistles at 6 o'clock. The men nod in silent acknowledgement, their faces grim. No one speaks, the weight of the moment settling heavily upon them. In the brief lull between the thunderous impacts, they hear the distant rumble of German guns returning fire. The German 77mm field pieces respond with an irregular rhythm, but the more immediate and deadly threat comes from closer, the MG-08S, capable of unleashing a sustained fire rate of 450 to 500 rounds per minute. A single one of these guns can effectively pin down an entire company. The artillery barrage inches forward. The valley is illuminated by the flashes of fire and the swirling mist. He ascends the fire step, his senses heightened. The sharp, acrid smell of cordite fills the air. Clouds of disturbed earth hang heavy in the air. Somewhere behind the support line, horses scream in agony. Artillery limbers struck by German counter-battery fire. Whistles shriek up and down the trench, a piercing signal to advance. They go over the top, into the maelstrom. He leads the first wave, his boots sinking into the clinging mud that threatens to pull him down. The ground between the trenches is a pockmarked landscape of craters, some yawning holes 3 to 5 meters deep, the legacy of massive 8-inch shells. Tangled coils of dead wire lie strewn across the battlefield like rusted vines, a deadly obstacle course. Ahead, the creeping barrage is already 70 meters in front, kicking up towering walls of mud and debris. The company moves forward in a staggered line, maintaining a 5-meter gap between each man. They advance quickly, keeping low to the ground, their rifles held at the ready, bayonets gleaming in the dull morning light. Alden stumbles into a crater, cursing under his breath. The officer pulls him up, offering a hand. There is no time to pause, no time to dwell on setbacks. Then, the first machine gun opens fire, its deadly song cutting through the air. It comes from a right flank, well concealed and seemingly untouched by the preceding barrage. Green tracers streak through the mist, marking a path of death. Men drop instantly, cut down in their prime. The officer yells for his Lewis gun team. Sector right. Suppress. The Lewis gun roars to life. Spitting bursts of 7mm rounds towards a German nest. The gunner fires in disciplined 2-second bursts to prevent the weapon from overheating. Steam rises from the barrel jacket, a testament to the intense heat. Another MG-08 joins the fray, adding to the deadly chorus. Bullets kick up dust around their boots, a constant reminder of the ever-present danger. He waves a platoon left, seeking what little cover they can find in the shattered remains of a ditch. A shell crater becomes a makeshift rally point. He quickly counts heads. Already 8 men missing, lost to the brutal efficiency of the machine guns. The creeping barrage is too far ahead now, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. Without the protective curtain of artillery fire, they are sitting ducks. Move. Keep moving. The second enemy trench looms ahead, its parapet a jagged line of sandbags and timber. German stick grenades, steel hand grenading, fly through the air in menacing arcs, the wooden handles spinning like thrown clubs. They explode with sharp, concussive cracks, blasting chalk and debris in all directions. A grenade lands near Alden. He instinctively jumps on it. No, he tries desperately to kick it deeper into mud, hoping to lessen the impact. It detonates. The blast wave knocks 3 men off their feet. Alden screams once, a sound of pure agony, then falls silent, his sacrifice a desperate act of heroism. The platoon presses forward, driven by a mixture of duty and survival instinct. The officer grips his rifle tighter, his knuckles white. Every heartbeat feels like a direct order he must obey. They reach the wire. British sappers had assured them that this section had been cleared during the bombardment, but much of it remains intact, dense, knotted, and waist-high, a formidable obstacle. Wire cutters snap and strain, struggling to sever the thick strands. The officer shoves men through gaps barely wide enough to squeeze through. German rifles crack from hidden firing ports, their deadly aim finding its mark. Bullets skip across helmets, a terrifying sound. They breach the wire. He leaps into the German trench. The drop is steep, nearly 3 meters. Below, the trench is narrower than the British lines, but reinforced with heavy timber, providing a degree of protection. A German soldier emerges from a dugout doorway. The officer fires instinctively, a single shot finding its mark. The man collapses without a sound, another casualty in the brutal calculus of war. The platoon floods into the trench. A dozen fragmented fights erupt simultaneously. Bayonets flashing, rifle but swinging, the close grunt of desperate struggle filling the air. Trench combat is blind, brutal, and measured in seconds, a chaotic dance of death. He pushes towards a communication trench that leads deeper into the enemy positions, seeking a path forward. Smoke thickens, obscuring vision and choke in the air. The German second line remains ahead, unbroken and still firing, a formidable obstacle. He checks his watch. They are not on schedule, falling behind the relentless clock of battle. The creeping barrage is now hundreds of meters in front, useless to them, and German reserves will undoubtedly counterattack soon, seeking to regain lost ground. He feels the letter in his pocket again, its edges damp with a mixture of sweat and rain. No time to read it now. No time for anything but surviving the next minute, the next second. The sky brightens further, the encroaching dawn revealing the carnage around them. The mist begins to lift, exposing the Scar Valley, their exposed route, a killing field. The real collision is coming, and he knows, with a chilling certainty, that this is only the first layer of the storm, a harbinger of even greater horrors to come. October 12, 1916, 7:03 a.m., German second position, Beaumont-Hamel. The smoke begins to clear, improving visibility to 80 to 100 meters. The officer leads what remains of platoon along a sunken communication trench, a narrow corridor of death. Bodies, British and German, lie twisted in grotesque postures, casualties of the brutal fighting. The wooden revetments shake from the distant bombardment, a constant reminder of the artillery's power. Somewhere behind them, British heavy artillery, 6-inch howitzers, fire at a rate of 2 rounds per minute, attempting to disrupt German reinforcements, slowing their advance. But the German line holds firm, a testament to their resilience. He hears the rhythmic pounding of machine gun belts being fed, a sound that chills him to the bone. MG-08 teams fire and control bursts to conserve barrels, prolonging their deadly effectiveness. The gun's water jackets hiss with heat, evidence of the intense strain. The trench forks, presenting a difficult choice. Scouts report movement ahead. German grenadiers assembling near a traverse, preparing for an ambush. He signals quietly. Prepare grenades. 2 teams flanking. They creep along the duckboards, their movements cautious and deliberate. Chalk dust hangs in the air like drifting snow, illuminated by the weak sunlight. A whistle pierces the air, shattering the silence. German voices shout an alarm. Achtung! Links. The fight erupts instantly, a chaotic melee of violence. A stick grenade rolls toward them, a deadly projectile. He shoves 2 men backward and dives into a niche, seeking any protection he can find. The explosion deafens him, his hearing reduced to a dull ringing. Mud rains down, coating everything in a layer of grime. He fires twice at moving shapes, relying on instinct and adrenaline. The platoon storms forward with bayonets fixed, their attack a desperate gamble. The close quarters battle is frantic. Timber splinters flying, boots slipping in blood, rifles jamming from the ubiquitous chalk dust. He parries a bayonet thrust with his rifle stock, deflecting the blow and countering with a desperate stab. The German falls, another victim of the brutal trench warfare. A Lewis gun team pushes through the gap, spraying bullets in short bursts, suppressing the enemy fire. For a moment, they gain ground, pushing the Germans back. Then, the counterattack hits with full force. German stormtroopers, Sturmtruppen, the term emerging during this phase of the war, push into the trench with grenades and carbines, their attack relentless. Their tactics are different, a new and terrifying approach to warfare. Small groups, rapid movement, bypassing strong points, hitting weak spots, exploiting vulnerabilities. This is a nascent stage of modern infiltration doctrine, a paradigm shift in military thinking. They strike fast and hard. 2 Germans rush the Lewis gun, their movement swift and decisive. One throws a grenade point blank, aiming to eliminate the weapon. The gunner is blown sideways by the blast, his drum magazine scattering like metal coins across the trench floor. The officer drags a wounded man behind traverse, seeking cover as another grenade explodes nearby. The trench shakes violently, threatening to collapse. Smoke blinds them, disorienting them. The platoon is splitting apart, their cohesion crumbling under the relentless assault. He counts quickly. Only 14 men still moving, a grim reminder of their dwindling numbers. He grabs a flare pistol from a fallen corporal's belt, desperate to signal for help. Red flare, we hold here. He fires upward, the flare arcing into the gray sky, burning bright crimson. But visibility is too poor, obscured by the smoke and mist. It's uncertain whether the British lines will even see it, let alone respond. A runner arrives on the left flank, blood staining his sleeve, his face etched with desperation. Sir, B Company stalled at the wire. Heavy casualties. Second push delayed. Meaning, no support is coming. They are alone, isolated in the face of the overwhelming German assault. The stormtroopers surge again, their attack relentless. Carbines crack, their deadly fire finding its mark. Bullets ricochet off timber, sending splinters flying. A British private collapses against a trench wall, clutching a chain will lock it. Inside is a portrait of his fiancée, a reminder of the life he may never return to. The officer pulls him into cover, offering a moment of respite. The private whispers a name once, then fades, his life extinguished. The officer pushes the grief aside. Later, he will mourn, if later exists. He orders a fallback to a deeper traverse, only 10 meters behind, a desperate attempt to regroup and consolidate their position. They withdraw, firing as they move, trying to slow the German advance. The Germans follow relentlessly, their pursuit unwavering. Alden's replacement, young Private Merrill, fires his Leonfield rapidly, using its 10-round magazine to maximum effect, unleashing a torrent of fire. He cycles 5 shots in under 10 seconds, demonstrating remarkable skill and composure under pressure. Several Germans drop, casualties of his accurate fire. But then an MG-08/15, a lighter, more portable version of the deadly machine gun, appears at the trench corner, carried by 2 men, its presence a grim omen. The gun roars to life, unleashing a hail of bullets. The world narrows to the sound of bullets chewing through timber, sparks flying, men screaming in agony. Merrill goes down, another young life extinguished. Another private tumbles over him, seeking cover, adding to the carnage. The officer dives into a side dugout doorway, seeking refuge. Inside, the space is cramped, lit only by a flickering lantern, casting eerie shadows. 3 surviving soldiers follow him, seeking sanctuary. They brace the door with crates, attempting to create a barricade. Outside, the MG keeps firing, its relentless barrage a constant threat. He steadies his breathing, try to maintain control. He checks his ammunition. 34 rounds left, a meager supply. One soldier cries quietly, clutching a bloodied letter seal with wax, a precious memento. The officer rests a hand on his shoulder, offering silent comfort. No words are needed, their shared experience transcending language. The firing stops, replaced by an ominous silence. Heavy, expectant. Then boots. German voices. They're preparing to clear the dugout, their intentions clear. He gestures silently, communicates his plan. Grenades ready, prepare to fight. The door shakes, buffeted by the enemy. A German soldier tries to force it open, testing their defenses. The officer pulls a pin from a grenade. Now! They throw 2 grenades out as the door cracks open, unleashing chaos. Explosions slam the trench, deafening and disorienting. Screams fill the air, a chorus of agony. Smoke billows, obscuring vision. They charge out immediately, no hesitation, relying on the element of surprise. Surprise buys them precious seconds, a momentary advantage. He shoots 1 German at close range, eliminating the immediate threat. Another lunges with shovel, a desperate weapon. The officer ducks and counterstrikes, his training taking over. The surviving British push hard, driving through the disoriented stormtroopers, their attack fueled by adrenaline and desperation. Then they see it, a gap, a collapsed section of trench, blown wide by earlier British heavy guns, a potential escape route. Beyond it lies open ground leading toward the German second line's command dugouts, a strategic target. If they can reach that junction, they might disrupt the entire sector, throwing the German defense into disarray. He knows the risk, the danger of exposing themselves in the open. But staying means certain death, being overrun in confined space. He shouts, "Through the breach!" Now! They scramble up the broken trench wall, their movements frantic. The terrain outside is a cratered wasteland. Visibility, perhaps 120 meters now that mist is lifting, revealing the devastation. German snipers take shots immediately, their deadly aim finding its mark. Bullets kick up dirt around their boots, a constant reminder of the danger. 1 man spins and falls, another casualty of the brutal war. They sprint in short bursts, using shell holes as cover, their movements erratic but purposeful. The officer glances left, sees artillery teams near the tree line preparing 77mm guns, preparing to unleash another barrage. He signals the last Lewis gunner. Target the crews. The Lewis gun rattles, its fire directed at the artillery crews. The Germans scatter, seeking cover. 1 gun is abandoned, a small victory. They push forward, driven by a desperate hope. By 7:32, they reach the outskirts of command dugouts, a cluster of deep underground shelters reinforced with concrete, a vital strategic point. These dugouts are 6 to 9 meters deep, nearly bomb-proof to anything but direct hits from 15-inch naval guns, according to some sources, providing substantial protection. A German officer shouts orders, pistol raised, attempting to rally his troops. British soldiers fire, their aim precise. The returning fire is fierce. Mauser rifles cracking in rapid succession, a deadly hail of bullets. The British wedge themselves behind broken timber, seeking cover, their position precarious. The fight stretches into a firefight across 30 meters, a brutal exchange of fire. They are down to 9 men, their numbers dwindling. The officer spots a signal runner dashing toward the dugout stairs, a critical moment. If that man reaches the underground telephone lines, German reserves will surge instantly, overwhelming their position. He fires. Misses. The runner disappears down the stairs, his mission potentially successful. Moments later, a siren wails across the German position. Short bursts, repeating, a signal of impending reinforcements. The officer's heart tightens, realizing the dire situation. They have minutes at most before the German counterattack hits. He considers options, none good, their situation desperate. Then he sees movement behind them. Smoke. Figures. Not Germans. British infantry from D Company. Small group, maybe 12 men, push through a different breach, offering a glimmer of hope. Relief floods him, a brief respite from the unrelenting tension. He signals loudly, to the dugout entrance. Forward while we still have momentum. Both groups merge, forming a ragged assault line. Their attack a desperate gamble. They charge the command dugouts just as German reinforcements crest a far ridge. A race against time. The collision will decide everything, the fate of their mission hanging in the balance. And the officer knows with grim certainty that the third turning point is moment away, the final act of this brutal drama. October 12th, 1916, 8:11 a.m., German command dugout entrance, Beaumont Hamel. Skies clearing, the weather shifting. A wind blows from the southwest, carrying the scent of cordite and death. Gunfire cracks across the slope as the combined British remnants rush the dugout entrance, their attack a desperate gamble. The flight of steps leading down is steep, timber-lined, nearly vertical, a treacherous descent into the unknown. German officers shout from below, their voices echoing through the shaft, issuing commands. He leads the assault, his resolve unwavering. Grenade. Deep breath. Throw. The explosion lights the stairwell, a burst of blinding light. Splinters and dust erupt upward, a cloud of debris. He waves the men forward, urging them onward. They descend into darkness, venturing into the unknown. The command dugout is enormous, as big as a railway tunnel, an impressive feat of engineering. Gas lamps flicker along the walls, casting long, dancing shadows. Maps of the Somme front line are pinned to boards, red and blue arrows marking sectors, a detailed representation of the battlefield. Telephone operators scramble, trying to reestablish lines cut by shelling, their efforts frantic. The senior German officer fires a pistol, a futile gesture, then ducks behind a desk, seeking cover. British rifles answer, their fire precise and deadly. The room becomes a storm of smoke, obscuring vision and choking the air. The British push in, clearing corners, shouting positions, their movements methodical. A German NCO tries to reach a field telephone, attempting to alert reinforcements. The officer fires once, dropping him, preventing the call. Within minutes, the dugout is secured, their objective achieved. But above them, the battle shifts, a new threat emerging. Heavy footsteps thunder across the ceiling. German reinforcements arriving, their arrival imminent. The British can't hold below ground. They'll be trapped, facing certain annihilation. He orders immediate withdrawal, a strategic decision. They climb back into daylight, emerging from the darkness. German infantry are only 200 meters away, advancing in skirmish lines, their attack relentless. Mauser fire snaps through the air, a deadly hail of bullets. A bullet grazes the officer's shoulder. He stumbles but stays upright, his determination unbroken. Their only chance is to hold the dugout entrance and delay the German counterattack until British guns adjust, buying them precious time. He calls the Lewis gunner. Set up on the parapet. The Lewis spits fire, its deadly song cutting through the air. Its 500 to 600 rounds per minute in short bursts suppresses the advancing Germans, slowing their assault. But ammunition is running low. Only 2 drums remain, a grim reminder of their dwindling resources. German mortars begin firing. Like their Minenwerfer, light trench mortars with a range of up to 1,300 meters. A new threat emerging. Explosions walk closer, each impact shaking the ground. Dirt rains down, burying them. The officer scans the horizon, desperate. Then, hope. British artillery signals. 2 green flares, a sign of salvation. It means, fire mission acknowledged. Stand clear. He shouts for his men to move behind the dugout's earthwork, seeking what little protection it offers. Moments later, the British guns unleash a new barrage. 4 5-inch howitzers pounding the ridge, a devastating display of firepower. The shells land dangerously close, some within 80 meters, but the effect is immediate. German lines waver, their attack faltering. Still, the Germans press on, their resolve unwavering. A mortar lands near the Lewis gun, a catastrophic strike. The explosion flips the gunner backward, another casualty of the war. The gun is intact, but the team is gone, leaving a void. The officer crawls forward, grabs a hot barrel jacket with his sleeve, heedless of the searing heat, repositions a weapon, and resumes firing in short bursts, his determination unwavering. The recoil numbs his arms, but he continues to fire. Beside him, a private unfolds a small photograph, his 2 brothers, both already killed at Ypres, a tragic loss. He tucks it into the officer's breast pocket, as if passing the memory on, a symbolic gesture. Then he stands and fires until a sniper hits him square in the chest, his sacrifice unwavering. The officer pulls him back. Too late, his life extinguished. The trench begins collapsing under mortar fire, its foundations crumbling. The position is untenable, unsustainable. He makes a decision. Fall back to the breach. Use shell holes. Maintain spacing. They move, staggering through smoke and debris, their movements labored. Wounded men are carried in improvised slings, a testament to their comradeship. The ground shakes as artillery duels overhead, a cacophony of destruction. German soldiers pursue, firing from the hip, their pursuit relentless. Their advance is aggressive, stormtrooper tactics pushing hard, exploiting vulnerabilities. But British guns intensify, firing 18-pounders at nearly 20 rounds per minute across the slope, unleashing a storm of destruction. Shells tear craters into the German formations, disrupting their attack. By 8:29, the officer and his remaining men, only 7 now, reach the original collapsed trench section, seeking refuge. The position is half flooded from broken pipes, a grim testament to the destruction, but provides cover, a sanctuary of sorts. He checks ammunition. He has 11 rounds left, a meager supply. The Germans regroup for a final push, their determination unbroken. Their officers shout orders, rallying their troops. The last machine gun in range, another MG-0815, sets up behind a shattered tree long since dead, its presence a deadly omen. The officer grips his rifle, his resolve unwavering. The next minutes decide everything, the fate of their mission hanging in the balance. German infantry surge forward, their attack relentless. He fires his last rounds deliberately, each shot precise, each recoil a jolt through his wounded shoulder, his movements measured. His men fire beside him, disciplined even now, their training unwavering. The Germans close to 60 meters, the distance closing rapidly. A sudden shriek fills the air. British heavy guns again, their arrival a sign of salvation. Then salvation. The creeping barrage returns, adjusted after the capture of the command dugout, a coordinated attack. The line of explosions marches across the slope toward the Germans, forcing them to drop and scatter, disrupting their assault. The officer shouts the only order left. Down, take cover. The barrage slams the ridge, a devastating display of firepower. Shock waves hit like hammer blows, shaking the ground. When dust clears, the German assault is broken, Their attacks shattered. Survivors retreat toward their third line, their hopes dashed. The battlefield falls eerily quiet except for groans and distant artillery, a scene of devastation. The officer sits heavily against the trench wall, exhausted and wounded. Blood darkens his sleeve, a testament to the battle. He opens a letter in his pocket at last, seeking solace. His sister's words are simple. News from home. Nothing remarkable, but connection to the world beyond the battlefield. But he reads it twice, finding comfort in the familiar words. Around him, the valley stretches, a graveyard craters, wire, and ruined timber, a desolate landscape. British runners finally arrive, wide-eyed at the devastation, their faces etched with shock. Reinforcements secure the captured dugout, establishing a new forward post, solidifying their gains. By 9:10, reports flow back. The breach has forced the Germans to withdraw their right flank by nearly 800 meters, a significant strategic victory. On maps at headquarters, the front line bends, small but undeniable, a shift in the balance of power. Strategically, the gain is limited, yet the intelligence recovered in the dugout, maps, firing plans, artillery codes, will reshape operations for weeks, providing valuable insights. But the real legacy is different, something far more profound. The officer looks at the torn trench, at stormtroopers' grenades mixed with British Mills bombs, at Lewis drums lying beside MG-08 belts, a chaotic mix of weaponry. He realizes they have witnessed something new, a paradigm shift in warfare. Infiltration teams striking weak points, coordinated barrages, moving with infantry machine gun domination of open ground deep dugouts, anchoring defensive grids, mortars, providing immediate, portable firepower. This is the birth of modern combined arms warfare, a new era. Not glorious, not clean, but revolutionary, changing the face of battle. He rises unsteadily as medics arrive, offering aid. The Somme Valley is quiet for a moment. Then sunlight touching the broken earth, a moment of peace in the midst of chaos. He pockets the letter again, a memento of home. The war moves on, its relentless march continuing. But the shape of future wars, every tactic, every doctrine, has already begun here in mud and wire under the morning light of October 12, 1916, a turning point in military history.